I'm Madeline Harvey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and welcome to day 5 of our 7-day Free Your Most Authentic Voice series. So in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about your vocal strengths. We all have them, and it's really important to know exactly what they are, not just for the continuation of our vocal journey, but also for understanding what makes us unique, what gives us a sense of specialness about our voice. And it's not just our voice, it's a composite of who we are too, like what we are bringing to the table. So before we get into that, I just want to give you a little bit of a structure to sort of see your voice through, to sort of see technique through. So when we're looking at technique, and we have this idea of, well, I'm preparing a song for a performance. We have a sort of parameter for satisfaction, right? And you may have a longer list than I do, but I tend to look at 4 main things when I'm looking at my parameters for satisfaction. Meaning, if I do all 4 of these things well over the course of the song, then by my standard, I did good. And so those are pitch accuracy. The very first thing that I do when I'm looking at a song, before I think about the emotion, before I get into the stylistic component, before any of that, is I will sort of hum or huh the song on pitch. Now, more often than not, I will get the sheet music, but I know not a lot of people read music, and that's okay too. You can listen to the song and then work with some sort of pitch listening app. My favorite app is called Pano Tuner. So that way, you're singing slowly the song note to note to note. And it lets you know if you hit the pitch or if you didn't hit the pitch. This is so helpful because it literally tunes your voice to the song. More often than not, singers will just sort of sing along with their favorite singer over and over and over and over. And what they don't know is that they may be reinforcing mistakes. So they may not actually really know the melody. They just think they know the melody because they're singing along with that other artist. As soon as you take that artist away, there may be inconsistencies in the pitch. So pitch accuracy is the number 1 thing. Number 2 is rhythmic accuracy. This is another aspect that singers are like, wow, I didn't even know that I had to isolate that. But the song, the melody line of the song is a melody because of pitch and rhythm. So when you're isolating the rhythm, we're going specifically for that rhythmic value. So this will give you energy. This will inject energy into your piece and make it a little bit more exciting if it's on rhythm. The third parameter for satisfaction is having a clear and natural tone quality. Now, a lot of singers think, oh, I didn't know how to do that because I just figured I had to mimic the original artist's tone. But often than not, when you're singing and you've done a lot of work to contort your voice to sort of match that of the original artist, that's what the audience is hearing. It's like it's not as natural as it would have sounded in your own voice. So you want to make sure that it's a nice, clear tone quality that feels natural to you. You can always go in and put your style or modify the tone a little bit later. And then number 4 is the big doozy, and that is breath support. That is the big deal out of all 4 of those components. Now there are more. I just want to give you those 4 things to start with. So what do I mean by breath support? Well, I mean that you literally should feel that you have, it's like you're playing a wind instrument, like you've lifted your voice using only the breath the entire time. So if a song travels through your mix or your break, it's going to feel very uneven when it gets to that. So you want to make sure that your breath can support that change as you're moving through the song. So those are those 4 components of satisfaction: pitch accuracy, rhythmic accuracy, natural tone quality, and breath support. If you are using these 4 elements as a means of a sort of standard, if you I don't want to use the word fail, but if you falter on any one of them, you know exactly where to place your focus. So that's a good thing. I wanted to start with something technical to make it simple for you. As we learn singing, oftentimes we're so focused on what our weaknesses are that we never really focus on our strengths. So I just wanted to offer this as a parameter for your technical work so that you can shift and have more fun with your strengths. Now, if you're somebody who's been studying voice for a while, you may be so tuned in at looking at your weaknesses that you may not even know that you have strengths. So I just want to start with a question. What brings you back to music? Like, what always brings you back to singing? What keeps you interested in singing? What makes singing fun for you? Those are all your strengths. Okay? Those are all your strengths. I just wanted to start with that. Sometimes our strengths are technical, and sometimes they are more personal, like a character trait. For me, one of my biggest strengths is my persistence. Like I'm very persistent because it feels really great at the end of the day when I've done the work and my voice is relaxed and it feels like I can freely lean into whatever song I'm singing. That feels the best to me. So that persistence is actually one of my biggest vocal strengths. But you got to look at it like that. So I want you to reflect on this. We'll start on the personable element. What do you love about singing? What does singing make you feel? What keeps bringing you back to singing? When your voice is free, how does that feel? All of these things are revealing your values, like what's important to you. And those are the things that are going to keep you invested in singing, especially if you're watching this video going, I have no idea what my vocal strengths are. If you tend to be a little bit more technical minded, then we can look at those vocal strengths. I'll just give you a few, but I want your imagination to really go, like take it from here. So let's say range. Do you have a big range? That might be a vocal strength. Do you have a nice, pleasing tone quality? Do you have a nice tone consistency? Is your voice agile or flexible? Are you really good at creating vocal variety? Meaning you can have this voice and that voice, and you may sing along with other artists and find that that's relatively easy for you to do different types of voicings. That's a vocal strength. Do you have a powerful voice? Vocal strength. Mm-hmm. So those are those things that you're going to lean in, or they're going to make singing fun for you. The things that you naturally feel drawn towards when you're singing. If we look at something that's a little bit more performance-based or more personal, that may be something like, do you have a presence about you that people respond to on stage? Do you feel that you can trust your voice when you emote? Do you tend to make connections with people in the audience? You might be very charismatic in that way, very personable in that way. Major strength. Lots of singers have created entire careers around that strength. Do you have a voice that brings people energy, or does it soothe? There's an aspect of using your presence. It's like your aspect of who you are. I want you to think about these things. These are all strengths, but I wanted to make a video to highlight these, often because so many singers listen to their own voice and they just reject their voice. Partly because they've got a standard for where they want their voice to be ultimately, and that's great. It's great to have standards, but I really want you to understand like your vocal strengths are what are going to make you as an artist. And that's so, so important. So if you need some help, you can always ask friend or family member or husband or wife or kids. Like when you think about me, what's the first word that comes to your mind? When I ask people that, they usually say things like sincere or friendly or kind. And as much as I want to be like, no, I'm edgy. I'm, like, yeah. As much as I'd like to be like that, not so much. So it's an aspect of who you are in addition to what you're bringing into your voices. Both of them coming into balance. As we move through this authenticity 7-day program, you will hear me say the word balance, balance, balance over and over and over again, because I want you more than anything to be able to trust your voice. So for the rest of this day, or as a personal prompt for yourself, I just want you to think, give it some sincere thought. What do I love about singing? What do I bring to singing? How do people respond to me when I sing? What have I leaned on many times when I'm thinking about my singing? Because persistence is a major vocal strength. So learn to trust those things. Use those things. Bring who you are into your music, okay? So if you'd like to watch the entire live of today's video, I want you to click that join button below and become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access to all of our lives that we do every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, if that's really late for you or really early, no big deal. As a member, you'll also have access to our members only area with over 100 voice lessons. So there's lots to enjoy in terms of voice lessons. So again, just click that join button below. It's only $4.99 a month, and your contribution helps to support our channel. That way we can continue to deliver awesome content for you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time.